no matter where you are at, there's no time in the present. You can always change anything that you're not liking about yourself right now. You don't have to worry about what you did in the past. It's like do over. In fact, snap my fingers, do over, right? You can start again and start, you can even change paths altogether and move on a different path. There's no judgment, there's just hope.
Hello and welcome back to Healing and Growing Hand in Hand podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Tickle, and today we've got Dr. Cristina Louk, right? I said it right. And I'm going to read her bio. It's quite the bio. So Cristina is a licensed mental health counselor and clinical director of Peace Humanistic Therapy, where she specializes in treatment of ADHD and trauma in adults through a deeply humanistic and holistic lens, which I love. Her private practice integrates traditional psychotherapy and neurodevelopmental assessments and mind-body approaches to support each client's unique path towards healing and self-understanding. Drawing from her own lived experiences and clinical experience, Dr. Louk helps clients navigate the challenges of neurodivergence, rejection-sensitive dysphoria, and complex trauma by fostering self-awareness, self-compassion, and practical skills for daily life. Her work is grounded in the belief that therapeutic change emerges from a trusting relationship, attuned presence, and respect for the whole person, body, mind, and spirit. I love that. Well, thank you, Dr. Cristina. Yeah, take a breath, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us about yourself and then tell us about holistic and humanistic healing journey.
Yeah, so I've been in practice since about 2017. I'm transitioning from a world of ballet of all things, kind of a weird transition, but I spent 30 years teaching dance, but I've always been very interested in psychology, mainly because I have ADHD, and so I have my own healing path. I've been in private practice working with ADHD and trauma, really, the diagnosis of my heart, because it's the things that are on my healing path. I went to school for humanistic psychology specifically because I fell in love with Maslow, and he didn't pathologize. It was all about how we bring people to their self-actualization. And, we enter therapy to heal these symptoms, but really at the undertone of my healing journey was I want to connect to my higher self. It's a much deeper spiritual journey for me. And so humanistic psychology really opened that door, that there is a path to heal the symptoms, the whole person, the totality of the person, the biology, the psychology, the social aspect, the spiritual aspect. And that really got me excited into learning the modalities of humanistic psychology and build more of a relational connection to my clients, where I can actually, walk with them on their healing journey and not just, throw tools and skills at them.
Exactly.
Because
we're all custom, right? We're all unique and custom.
Gosh.
Trauma, on one hand, as I've been studying it so deeply, I lived it, right? And now I've studied it. On one hand, so much of it makes sense, but it's so complex at the same time.
So complex.
There's so many layers.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah, I see that with my clients, that I have some clients that they experience their trauma very somatically, where they come in with this chronic pain and they're not able to attach it to anything. And then when we do work, more on a subconscious level, they realize it's their, family of origin trauma. And then we can heal that pain and heal that trauma at the same time.
Yeah.
I have some clients that come in with a lot of energetic blockages where, we're going to start on the energetic level first. Let's heal, the biofield and then move down to the somatics. And then we can work on emotions and the mind next.
Right.
But oftentimes therapy approaches, very top down, where we're coming in, how are you thinking? How are you feeling? And, trauma, we need to come bottom up. How is my energy field? How is my body responding to the world? So very different way to approach when we deal with, trauma.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know there's so many great modalities, and I know I was really interested in this one, because we are individual, and like I know for me, I did several modalities. There wasn't just one exact one. There were different, in different steps of my healing journey.
Yeah.
So this is just one more great tool I think that could really help people, right?
Yeah, so important, the humanistic modality, I'm able to integrate from so much, excuse me, great minds out there that nobody really kind of pulls from. And a lot of my work is in, Buddhist therapy, yoga
Hmm.
therapy, some of the more ancient philosophies, which the modern modalities don't really, they steal from them. Let's not mix that up. Let me tell you, I can go into DBT and go, that looks a little suspicious, because
Funny.
it's coming from this ancient philosophy, but just kind of going back and pulling from that, where the humanistic psychology modality really allows for that expanded thought, where we are pulling from some of the more, ancient traditional
Hmm.
wisdoms, which is so
Hmm.
great.
Hmm.
It's so healing. It's how I found my healing anyway.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I've got some questions for you because I'm trying to learn about
Yes.
all this too, and I think I think it's fascinating, and I want to know more about it. So, what does holistic healing mean to you, and how does it differ from more traditional approaches to therapy? So you were kind of touching on that a little bit a minute ago, so
Yeah.
maybe we go a little deeper.
Yeah, so holistic for me means I am going to approach your healing using all of you, starting with your spiritual connection, if that is a connection you want to address, your energy field, how you're feeling in your body. We might then address your thoughts and your emotions and your actions, but we're also addressing, but your biology. So biopsychosocial, spiritual. So we're
Wow.
going through all of it. Where modern modalities really kind of come in through one lens. We have somatic psychology, which really just looks at the body. We have dialectical behavioral therapy, which does bring in some mindfulness and some other elements, but we are really looking at emotion regulation with that modality.
Mm-hmm.
Cognitive behavioral therapy is looking at your thought processes. So they all come through a lens where a holistic approach is looking at all of it. So I might have a client come in one day struggling with their thoughts. We deal with that. Next week, we might be clearing some energy blockages. And so it's like every week is different. It's what is presenting in the client for that week, we heal. Because as we're
Ah,
healing from trauma, our healing comes off in layers. I
yes,
can't parse through just your thought process layers.
you're right.
So it's a more organic way to process the trauma as it comes and process and bubbles up in your life.
Okay, that is very different. That's very interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's almost like a complete package.
Yeah.
You're getting a complete
Yeah.
package.
You are,
Okay.
you are. And I pull all those other modalities. I use DBT and CBT in therapy. I pull from them when we're
Right.
working on that layer. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But I'm not
Okay. Okay.
only using those.
Right. Right. So that makes sense because a lot of times, like if I go in for my EMDR, I already know what we're going to do. We're going to do the same thing that we did the week
Right.
before, which is not bad. I'm not saying it's bad because
Right.
EMDR has definitely helped me. But what you're saying is when your clients come in at the moment, what they're feeling or thinking or what's going on within them at the moment is what you're going to address. You're not just going to jump into finishing what you did last week.
You got it. You got it.
Okay.
And it
Big
also
difference.
means that I blend some stuff together. So for my EMDR, when I do EMDR with a client, I oftentimes will combine it with emotional freedom technique, which is tapping the meridian points, which triggers and activates your ventral vagal state and gets you out of your sympathetic and dorsal vagal state. So it's like a double whammy. I try to not only deal with memories, but I'm also going to regulate, some of your nervous system too. So I try
Hmm.
to multiple whatever layers I can kind of work on together, to give it a more, again, that holistic
Right, right.
approach.
It's a
Yeah.
custom, something custom built that day for that
Yeah.
need. Okay.
You got it.
That's
Yeah.
that's that's really cool. I like that. Okay, so how do you weave both holistic and humanistic philosophies together in your work with clients. So you were just kind of talking about that basically, right? So you pull from different
Yeah.
things.
I pull from different modalities. I really meet the client where they are. We are going at their speed. I have some clients that
Yeah.
have no interest in like their spiritual connection and they just really want to work on their, relationships here. And great, let's work on that. That's great. I'm not going to push any of my, my healing path onto them.
Right.
So it's really just their personalized journey. And I am an open book. I believe that I'm a very relational therapist where if they want to know my journey, I will tell them
Mm-hmm.
because I want to I want to normalize their experience so they don't feel like they're broken. No, we all trip along our path, but we get
Yeah.
up
Yeah. Yeah.
and we get up and we keep going.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Sometimes
yeah.
we trip, sometimes we stumble, but we keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I walk with my clients. I don't lead them. I walk
Yeah.
next to them. So it's a very different kind of vibe when you're in therapy with me.
Do you have unexplained tension, fatigue, or even gut issues that never seem to go away? Sometimes your body remembers what your mind tries to forget. Join our Women's Childhood Abuse Healing Workshop, where we'll help you tune into your body and begin healing from the inside out.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. Okay, next question. In your experience, what happens when we leave the body or spirit out of the healing equation? So that's a good question. For instance, if somebody doesn't want the spiritual part.
Yeah. Well, if they don't want the spiritual part, leaving it out isn't going to be detrimental to their happiness here on this planet. We all are here for different sacred contracts. We're all here for different goals. For me, having it left out kept me in this dark night of the soul for way too long.
Yeah.
When I was very, very little, I came into I remember telling somebody, I don't want to be here. I don't want to come back. Like, why do I keep coming back? This is stupid. I remember saying this. And that kind of became this underlying theme of why am I still here? I want to stay there. I want to stay, like that bliss place. I
Yeah.
just keep coming back to this earthly plane. And so, dealing with ADHD and going through my own kind of healing path, all of the modalities, all the stuff I didn't really address that piece. Well, then how do I, reawaken and get to that place? Maslow was great because he was like, you can self-actualize while you're here. You can go up this ladder. And then Buddhism was like, oh, there's a path. And I was like, oh, so how do I incorporate that now into my therapy? Because that's my path. I want to do well here on earth. So then maybe I don't have to come back. Maybe I can stay in the spiritual plane and just help people from afar. And who
Sounds
knows,
much better.
maybe, right? And maybe I'll live a happy life that I will want to come back.
Yeah.
Maybe there was something in a past life that really tainted me. And so maybe I'll change that vibe and want to come back. So who knows? But the spiritual piece was so important for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid. I don't shy away from it. I have clients that they say that I want to explore this. Great. Let's do that. That's your path. I am not going to shy away.
Yeah. And unfortunately then we've also got people who have got the religious trauma and the cults and that kind of stuff. So that's a whole nother
It's a
level, because that's a
whole
lot
other
of
thing.
deconstructing and reconstructing that has to go
Yeah.
on to fix
And
that.
I actually work with a lot of clients that, and I've gone through my own religious deconstruction
Me too.
and reconstruction. And I work with clients that are coming out of religion. And I'm like, and how I do it is I don't want to taint them from it.
Right.
Let's look at what worked for you. What pieces resonate with you? Because something in there kept you.
Right.
And then what doesn't work for you? And let's look at ancient philosophy. Let's look at other religions. Let's pull something so you can have create your own spirituality. I think we need to move away from religion and towards spirituality.
I agree.
And yeah, find happiness there. So,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I 100% agree. Yeah, I've gone through my own deconstructing, and that was many years because I couldn't figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
It took several years before I went, oh, okay, I'm deconstructing. That's what it is. And then
Yeah.
I figured that out, and then I've begun to reconstruct. And yeah, I have a very different spiritual life than I did before. I mean, my relationship with God is tight. That hasn't changed. It's just how I interact with him and what my relationship with
Yeah.
is between me and him and me and him alone.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I bet it feels more authentic, and I bet you feel closer and more
Oh, yeah.
connected,
Yeah, I feel like
right?
I'm hearing him more. And the thing is, I don't remember when I met him. He's been in my life as long as I can
Forever.
remember. I mean, I used to go to church by myself on the Sunday school bus at 5 years old. So there, and I don't know who introduced him to me, but he's always been in my life and he's been the staple in my life. And so
Yeah.
when I was going through my deconstruction, that part was never a question to me at all. At all. That has stuck. And it's definitely gotten, in my opinion, I've gotten much closer, much closer.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
It was a rough time. It was a rough time. It was
Yeah.
confusing and sometimes frustrating, and there was a lot of tears. But he caught every one of them. So yeah, here I am. Yeah, it was big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those dark nights of the soul that we go through, whew, it takes a long time for us to kind of
It.
process through. It takes what it takes, but beautiful on the other side,
Oh yeah, yeah. Just hang in there because there is the other
Yeah,
side, and it is
there
so
is.
worth it. It is so worth it. I'm telling you. Hang on. Okay, our next question, because I might start crying talking about that stuff. Can you share a moment in your own journey or in a client's experience where a holistic or humanistic approach unlocks something traditional methods didn't?
Yeah. This is a personal journey. I'm going to share my story because any
Oh, I love it.
ADHDer out there so I have ADHD that's hyperactive. When I was a little kid, no one wanted to babysit me. I was jumping out of tree. I was like, go, 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 go. So hyperactive. I have so much energy. It's painful. I can't meditate. I struggle to meditate
Yeah.
and really get into that zone. However, through yoga therapy and really going and working with my mind through Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, doing yoga asana, physical, hard poses, I can focus. And that actually gave me more than any modality. I was able to silence my monkey mind
Ooh.
more than any Buddhist meditation I did, any modality, any worksheet, any skill. I was able to have peace. And that peace lasted for 24 hours. I could then come back and do it again and again. And so yoga therapy for me was the game changer. But, that's again, ancient philosophy from Patanjali, which we don't really teach in, graduate school for therapists. But that was a game changer for me. And here's the beauty of it. It really helped cure my rejection sensitive dysphoria. That is the part of ADHD where we feel emotion so intensely. We feel rejection even if we're not being rejected. And it can
Ooh.
last for days and it could pop up years later. And if you talk to any ADHDer, that is the piece that is the hardest to manage. And I haven't had, it's gone. I don't feel rejected. And in fact, I look at other people not as separate from me, as just another person on my path. We might have different views. We might believe in totally different things, and that's cool. It no longer affects me. I just want to share their journey with them. And before their differences, I would have felt rejected because, oh, what's wrong with my views? Why are you, right? And now it's just let's all view what we view and have a beautiful, colorful rainbow. And, try to live really good lives, peaceful
Yeah.
lives,
Yeah.
loving each other, of compassion, trying to, yoga therapy for me changed. So to answer your question in a nutshell, yes,
Yeah,
yoga therapy, Patanjali, the Yoga Sutras.
See, we all have
and
our
doing
different
yoga.
things. Because let me ask you this, because you were just talking about, what was it you were just mentioning, the rejection?
Rejection sensitive dysphoria. Yeah. RSD.
Because I felt
Yeah.
like I had that. And I haven't been diagnosed. Of course, I haven't been tested for ADHD. But what you were describing, I can completely relate to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't feel like I have it now, but I I thought it was part of like a trauma response or something. That's really interesting.
Well, and it also can be. That's where ADHD and trauma have a lot of overlap.
That's true.
Yes. In fact, you look at our ADHD symptoms,
Yep.
is it ADHD or trauma? It comes from a different place, but yes, very much RSD is in trauma, especially if you had if you're really insecure. It's it's the self-concept.
Yeah.
Trauma really brings that down. And so we're very overly sensitive to things that we might perceive as rejection.
Yes.
And it's just really hard.
It's the lens of rejection, and that's how you look at everything, is through that lens of rejection. It is so freeing not to feel like that, not to take everything personal, not to take everything like a rejection, and not have to spend, I don't know how many hours in my mind I ruminated on that. It is so freeing because it's interesting when you're describing, like, heck, that's what I used to do. Like, I had that too. But you're right. Let's touch on that for a minute, because that's one thing, and maybe I'll have you back on, that there are a lot of symptoms that overlap that could be ADHD or could be trauma. And what is frightening to me is there are children that are being diagnosed with ADHD when they haven't even been screened for their trauma. And it could be trauma as opposed to ADHD and getting medication that they don't need.
Yeah. Agreed. The way we diagnose ADHD is developmental. We see it in the developmental age symptoms between the ages of 0 and 12. However, if that child has been traumatized between the ages of 0 and 12, we are now dealing with a different brain. And so it's really hard to kind of parse things out. Yes, it is. It's very problematic. The way that for adults, the way I, as assessment, parse it out is I really, look at when their trauma occurred. I try to see if their ADHD, I could prove it before the age of 12, and if their trauma happened after, maybe the age of 12. And I really go through symptoms. But if you come in for an ADHD assessment, you're getting a trauma assessment too for me. Because if I can't determine if it's ADHD or trauma, at least I can tell what symptoms are impacting you. So then we can address them. Because who cares if it's ADHD or trauma? Those are labels. Right now, it's like, what symptoms are keeping you off of your healing path? Your symptoms are the weeds on the path. We just got to weed them out. So then you can walk, nice and tall along your path.
Healing is hard, but healing alone is even harder. If you're craving connection with women who get it, the women's healing community is here for you. There's no judgment, only real conversations, healing tools, and a circle of support. Click below to sign up now.
That's one thing I wish doctors, the pediatricians would do, is do that assessment. And I know that our schools the teachers are getting better trained to look for trauma. I know my daughter-in-law, she works at a charter school, and they are full on trained on trauma. So thank God, but our pediatricians need to look at that more. I don't know. My son's almost 35 years old, so I haven't been to a pediatrician for a while, but, I don't know if they're doing that now, but that, I know that that's something that should be assessed, I think.
It's getting better. There was a huge study out a while ago called ACEs. I can't remember what ACEs stands for. Yeah. So there's more knowledge getting out, and physicians are getting trained. It's not as mainstream. It needs to be like secondhand, or not secondhand, second nature. You come in, we trauma screen.
Right. Yeah. Everybody.
It's so prevalent.
Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. I know. There's the ACE test, and then there's also Tim Fletcher he's done a modified one, which is 60 questions, which goes in deeper. It goes even deeper, because there's things, because the ACE test is only 10 questions. So it's pretty broad. It's still great. I mean, I scored a 7 out of 10.
I still use it as a screener for all my clients. So
it's a definite starting point for sure. Yeah. And it definitely gives you an idea of where you're at. Which is really helpful. Knowledge is power. I swear. Knowledge is power.
Yeah. I say that all the time too. Knowledge is power. Did we get that from Schoolhouse Rocks? Where did we get that?
I don't know.
Knowledge is power.
But I know. I say it all the time. It's like, and I
love it.
I mean, that's what's empowered me is I've learned more about trauma, and I've learned more about all the effects of it and the behaviors and everything, it has empowered me because it's really put a space between me and my trauma. Does that make sense? It's,
Totally makes sense.
my trauma for so long was my identity, and it was so much, it felt like a part of me. And as I've learned about trauma and I've learned about my behaviors and I've learned all this, I've been able to put a space between it and go, wait, that's my trauma and there's me.
You got it. Yeah, we are not our trauma. We are so much more than our trauma. Our trauma is a light shade hindering our light is all it is. It's not a part of us, right?
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, we just got to get it off. And it is not who we are. It does not define us. But all too often, that's what brings people into therapy. I am broken.
No.
I am hurt. Right. I am. And I'm like, ooh, let's back that up. I don't want you to say I am this. I don't want you to even say I am. I want you to not even say I just want you to be. Right.
Yeah.
Let's just exist. No labels. And let's exist. But
I agree.
We do. And I did it too with my ADHD. I did it too.
Yeah.
Right? I'm always this. I'm always that. I can't shut up. I can't sit still. I can't. I am. Ugh.
Yeah. I know. We're labeling so many things, and it limits us. And that is what that's what closes our mind to being able to go into healing. Because healing, like I said, it's multi-level. It's, it's
You've got it.
It's a lot, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
It is worth it.
Okay, so what are some gentle ways someone can start building a daily holistic healing practice even when they feel overwhelmed?
Yeah. It's start small.
Yes.
Habits take time, and with dysregulated nervous systems and dysregulated emotion regulation as ADHD and trauma, we need to take things one piece at a time. So don't hear all the stuff and go try them all. Just take one and see how it feels. But I'll share with you how I've implemented it into my daily life, just kind of as my, my soul hygiene, so to speak.
Oh, nice.
Every morning. Yeah, because we got to take care of ourselves. So every morning before I kind of start my day, I do some energy, I do some Reiki, some energy kind of clearing and healing. It's a 10-minute meditation kind of, that I do. With my ADHD, I can't sit and be quiet. So I'm active, but I'm healing my energy. And I'm settling. And then I do a yoga practice at night with my husband. I've got him joined in now.
Nice.
He's also enjoying it. And so we do, 30 minutes to an hour of yoga at night.
Wow.
I do a lot of self-study. I do a lot of, I talked of the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras.
Yes.
They're not a one-time read. They're kind of something that you contemplate and ponder over time. So I might read one or two sutras, ponder how that impacts my day, and to kind of reflect. Those are my anchors. I do those automatically every day. But something that I do that I would love everybody with trauma to learn is the emotional freedom technique. And that's the tapping technique that first responders teach when they go in and there's like an earthquake, and we're in there teaching people how to tap. And it's tapping on your meridian points. But what's amazing about it is it triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, your ventral vagal nerve. And when I do it, I feel it's almost like when you turn off an old TV that hum. I can I feel it in my system. There is a million videos out there on tapping and emotional freedom technique, so you can learn all the different spots. But anytime I feel that my nervous system is activated, because even though I feel, I went through my healing journey, I'm still going to be triggered.
Yeah.
Things will still happen. The difference is I now feel it in my body, and the first thing I do is I get rid of it.
You
I don't
manage it.
hold it anymore. I used to hold it for weeks and days. I tap it. And so the key is find what works for you to trigger your ventral vagal. And there's a lot of chanting triggers it, singing.
I know,
there's
humming,
a lot of
even humming, right?
Humming.
Yeah, humming's a big one.
You got it. So again, a ton of stuff. Just Google. You'll get like a ton of stuff to activate this. Find what really activates it for you. and then start doing it every time you feel triggered. Stop sitting in it. When we sit in it, more cortisol dumps into our system.
Oh, yeah.
More, all the neurotransmitters that we don't want flush in, and now they're going to sit with us. And now we have to metabolize them and dump them out. And that's so much work for our body. That's that humanistic, holistic, right? We got to deal with our body too.
Yeah.
So flush it out, but come up with a couple of anchors that you do already in your day. Learn some techniques to do kind of in the moment. And then really be more aware of what your body is telling you. Everything is communication. What is your body telling you?
Yeah.
What is your energy telling you? If you're low energy and you're laying on the couch and I can't get up, well, something's going on in your energy field. You are just being pulled down. So let's work on that. If your thoughts are dysregulated, work on them. Emotions. And if you're doing behaviors that are impulsive, we got to address everything as it happens.
Right.
Instead of letting it just continue.
I want to share one of the things that I do. And I just discovered this maybe it was a year ago. I have a vibration plate. And I get on. Now, I thought, first I got a trampoline, a little rebounder, and I thought, let me try that. And my back didn't really like that. So that's okay. So I bought a real cheap vibration plate and I really liked it. So then I invested in a really good one. And I will tell you, and I do tapping on that.
Love that.
It's so cool. And this one video I watch, it's only 10 minutes. And you do a tapping and you do your upper body and then you do your lower body and then you even work your eyes. I mean, it's just this little 10-minute little power workout but for me, when I get off of there, I feel like everything's circulating. That's the only way I can say it, is everything feels like it's like the plumbing is all working. It's weird, but I feel good.
I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. The vibrations are great because it really it really gets into your energy field and kind of fluffs up your energy.
There you go.
Also, it
That's
fluffs
what it feels
up
like.
And tuning forks. I use tuning forks in my Reiki sessions because the vibrations of the forks, if you think about it, we're mostly water. Tibetan singing bowls, any of the sound, it goes through our body and it shakes, your vibration plate.
Yep.
It's shaking the water and vibrating through. And so cleansing.
I know that sounds really cleansing. I need that. But my vibration plate, I'm telling you, and if I'm feeling a little sluggish, a little more, I'll go do that little 10-minute workout. And I feel so good afterwards. And I know it's doing my body really good. It's not just the mental, it's physical as well. It really is.
Yeah.
Because I want to cleanse everything. So
you're getting it on all levels, from your biology all the way to your energy field. You are just really getting that movement. Love that.
I know. I didn't even think about the energy part of I didn't even think about that with the energy, but you're right. Yeah. It's hitting it all. Yeah. Well, that's why I feel so good. It really is. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll have to do a video on it and share it with people because you
should.
I love it. And you can actually do a really good workout on it, and it's hard. It is not easy. Because
I'm going to need to invest in one.
Mine goes sideways, up and down, and vibrates. So you can do all three. Yeah. So it's great. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So try it out. So anyway, Dr. Cristina, enough of my vibration plate. Let me ask you the last question I always ask my guests, and that is, what do you want to leave our listeners with?
Oh, that's a good question. I want to leave your listeners with this little nugget of hope. No matter where you are at, there's no time than the present. You can always change anything that you're not liking about yourself right now. You don't have to worry about what you did in the past. It's like do over. In fact, snap my fingers, do over, right? Yeah. You can start again and start, you can even change paths altogether and move on a different path. There's no judgment, there's just hope. You can always get up. Resiliency, right? I always want to leave with that resiliency. It's like the Bobo doll. You fall down, you might be down for a minute. That's okay. But just know you will pop back up. We always do. And so find a new path. If this one's not working, find a new one.
I love it. And you're so right. You're so right. It's never too late. You're never too old.
Never too late.
Start now. Yeah. And you can change paths. You're right. You can change. My entire life is different than what it was and I'm not a spring chicken. So if I can do it, so can others. But thank you so much for sharing this. And I think we got a lot of great
Yeah.
information for the listeners and, some good thoughts. Oh, one more thing. Why don't you share with the listeners how they can reach out to you? And we'll have this also in the show notes. That's one more thing I
Oh,
forgot.
yeah. I am actually starting a 20-week course going through the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali and building in somatic and energy healing and
Whoa.
coaching. I will be doing every other week coaching. So it's a huge course that's going to be coming out August or September. It's going to be asynchronous. So you can do the course kind of at your own pace, but I'll be popping in every 2 weeks for a live coaching segment to really get us on the path toward healing. That will be coming out, but you can look on my website, peace, like in like peace, hippie peace, peacehumanistic.com. All the information, all the stuff that I do is going to be on that website. I have a resource page with a ton of different articles that I have written, things that I have done. I have a YouTube channel where I'll have yoga classes coming out soon. So just a whole bunch of stuff. Find it on the webpage. Reach out to me. You can find my contact information there. Happy to share information and
I love it.
share the light of the healing path.
There you go. There you go. I love it. Oh, you got lots of good stuff. So, well, thank you, Dr. Cristina, for being here and sharing. And I think this is some powerful stuff. And like I said, I hadn't talked about this on any of my podcasts, so I thought this was going to be really intriguing for everyone.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was really fun.